Welcome to the podcast, Working Drummer. Dynamic interviews that tell you everything you need to know about being a professional drummer and a few things you may not want to know. Produced by Mike Jackson and hosted by myself, Matthew Krause.
In a nutshell, I oversee all the operations from top to bottom for the entire organization.
Yeah. And you're spending time between Austin. That's why I said Austin, because you're spending time between Austin and here.
I do. I'm still an active player, and so I record and play actively in Austin. So I do spend time in Austin at least once a month, and the rest of the time I'm here in Indianapolis, running things here and making sure the convention's coming together okay, and working ahead on what our new exhibits are going to be here, and working on membership initiatives, and just every piece of the puzzle I'm got my fingers on.
You and I have known each other for a long time. We both worked together at Columbus Pro Percussion.
That's right.
In Columbus, Ohio, with Jim Rupp back in for me, it was the mid-'90s. And you were there. You were managing the store when I was there.
Right, that's right.
So it's just great to reconnect, man.
Yeah.
And I think we saw each other in Texas when I was touring, and we had some great mountain biking experience.
Yeah, we did.
And you crashed.
Did I? I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I think you hit your head. No, I think you dislocated
my
your shoulder or something like that.
Yeah. It wasn't serious. I thought I did at the time, but nonetheless, it was a great time. I'm still mountain biking. Bikes are like snare drums with me. I just, you don't need it, but you want it, and you just add that other one to the collection, or cymbals, same thing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, are you originally from Columbus?
Yeah, I grew up in Columbus.
Okay.
And then from there, my background is I actually did business and music. As far as school goes, I did some drum corps, did some teaching.
Right.
Yeah, and
was there a particular line you marched with?
I marched in 27th Lancers and Suncoast Sound.
Okay.
And then from there, I taught Magic of Orlando and Spirit of Atlanta and a couple others. So I had a lot of experience in that time frame. And kind of during that time, I was also going to school, working on my degrees, and I had started working at Columbus Percussion part-time in around 1985. And so then eventually became general manager until about 97. And then I left there and went to ProMark, where I was director of artist relations and marketing worldwide. And then in 2002 is when I came to PAS, at that time as the executive producer and director of PASIC. And so have been here now with PAS since then, and will be soon coming up on my 15 years, which is weird to think about.
Commitment, man.
Yeah, commitment for sure. And I think I've been executive director now for about 2.5 years. So, yeah.
So, have things changed a lot for you as far as what you were doing when you first started with PAS compared to now?
Oh, yeah.
Basic responsibilities have grown exponentially.
Yeah, for sure. Just the industry has changed. We are constantly adapting to what's happening out there. Literally, you hear it all the time, but the internet changed everything. Right now, PAS is also, in addition to the chapters that we have worldwide, we also have committees that are made up of the different segments of drums and percussion. So we have like a health and wellness committee, we have a symphonic committee, we have the drumset committee, on down the line, of all the different areas, pedagogy and education. We rely heavily on the feedback from the committees to kind of steer the direction we're going. The website, we're constantly putting up videos and educational content. Resource-wise, I would say we're probably, the best resource out there in the world, and have a lot of things that no one else has. Of course, there's so much out there for free. Resources for, if you're, let's say, a band director, non-percussionist band director, and you need some help, and you can't, you don't have the funds to hire a percussion specialist. We have resources to help those band directors. We also have For the most advanced doctoral student, we have articles and research articles and so forth from our magazine, Percussive Notes or Rhythm Scene magazine, that they can use for any number of researches, whether it be on a particular excerpt or if it's about how to, make your own marimba, let's say, and everything in between. So we have a little bit of information for almost everybody out there, no matter what your specialty is or what level you're at. And so we're a lot to a lot of people.
Well, and I just want to make sure that people understand what you guys provide. That's different than getting on YouTube and just going down that rabbit hole of watching players do something that, and that has its merit.
Mm-hmm.
But when you have to get specific, whether you're a teacher, educator, like you said, non-drummer,
Yeah.
or if you're a student or a graduate student, those are things you can't easily access.
No, like we have databases where you can go on and search about particular pieces that were written, maybe that you want your ensemble to play. Yeah. You can go on the site and research those. We encourage ensembles to submit their programs from performances that they've done, and those are online. So you can go online and maybe you're putting together a performance or a recital, and you kind of want to look at what some other people have done as far back as, say, 1970, to the present. So we're a wealth of knowledge that, again, isn't easily found on the internet. Like you said, there's a ton of videos out there of guys shredding, which is great. I love it too. Now with our videos, they're from PASIC, and they show some, great shredding, let's say, but then there's a lot of educational content as well. Again, so it may be drum set, it's provided, or it could be symphonic or whatever. There's different areas that you can kind of dig in, and depending on what you're looking for, you can go as deep down that hole as you want to find the research that you're looking for. Even here at the Rhythm Discovery Center, we obviously have the collection, but we also have our archives and libraries, which is huge. It's huge. And so you can literally come here, go into the library, which we didn't show you today. Yeah, we need more time to go and pull off the shelves anything, instructional books, like one of a kind, like the original scores to particular pieces of music. It's available to the PAS membership, and you can come in here and spend as much time in the research room as you want. So it's, we are here for as little or as much as you want to use PAS for. So, and then of course, PASIC is just an extension of what we're about, all condensed into 4 days. We work with Riley's Children's Hospital here in Indianapolis as well, where we'll go and do drum circles there at the hospital for the kids. And that's a huge enlightenment for them. And they and Riley has their own music therapists and people on staff there as well, which is just huge. Like I said, it's kind of become its own thing, and now we're kind of part of it. But it's a huge segment by itself. There's a great organization that I want to mention that we work directly with and have a really great relationship. But one of many, but this one in particular, it's called Drums for Cures. And
right, I was going to ask about that. I saw that on your website.
Yeah, we're actually partnering with them. We're raffling right now, if I can do a little plug. We're raffling Neil Peart's, one of Neil Peart's kit, his floor tom head actually off this kit that was last used on the 1974 All the World's a Stage tour. Neil signed it. It's a chrome Evans drum head off the 16-inch floor tom off of this kit when he was using it. And we're raffling that off. And you can go to our homepage at pas.org, and it's right on the homepage there. You can click on how to buy raffle tickets to have a chance at winning at that. We're going to do the drawing the last day of PASIC. So it's really cool. It's a specially framed drum head that, I think would look great in anybody's home. We're working, this raffle is with them, and so we're going to split the proceeds from however much we raise from that to go towards their mission and also our mission as well. And their mission is more or less working with cancer patients, and not only from a therapeutic standpoint, but just raising awareness and helping to raise funds to help battle cancer. So it's a great organization. They come to PASIC every year, and they'll have a booth there. And Scott Swimmer is the executive director, my equivalent to that organization. Great person, and that's an example of one of the organizations that crosses over, that we work closely with. Percussive Notes is our hard copy journal that we print every other month. We have 5 issues a year. The issue that just came out now, by the way, is the digital version of it is free on the website because it's the PASIC preview issue. So within that issue, there's articles written about a bunch of the sessions that will be at PASIC. Not all of them, but a majority of them. And like I said, that's our printed magazine / journal. Rhythm Scene is a somewhat new magazine. That it's a digital only magazine that you can download from newsstand, from the Apple Store. We have it available for all the Apple products, the iPad and the iPhone 6. We also have the Android version off of the Google Play Store, and then also the Kindle Fire version from the Amazon store. So that's a digital magazine that comes out every other month, opposite of Percussive Notes.
What's different about that?
Well, the Percussive Notes is more of a journal that would be more educationally based, collegiate-based sort of articles that kind of dive in more to technique and particular pieces or percussion ensembles.
It's maybe a little bit more focused material.
Yeah, it's more of like it's more of to the core of what the PAS membership, your students and professors and so forth. Rhythm Scene is more broad, where we're reaching out to the drum set players, more of the world drummers and the health and wellness guys, the drum circle people, paying more attention to even the marching guys, and featuring the marching world a little bit more, and it's more accessible, and we try to make that more to the general public, as somebody who might be an enthusiast or a hobbyist. It just that magazine has a slightly different vibe. It's got a more of a funner, shorter articles, a lot more pictures, more of what you would consider, what people are used to today in their short attention span. So it's a little more colorful and so forth. So we kind of, we feel like between those two magazines, even though one is in print and the other one's strictly digital, we kind of feel like we're speaking to a very broad group of people through both of those.
Is there anything special about this being the 40th anniversary of PASIC that you guys are doing this year?
Well, we're just having, we just really went after having some really great concerts, great daytime showcase concerts, the clinics, the master classes.
So next year is going to be lame.
Well, I mean, that's the worry I always have. What am I going to do next year? That's always the worry.
Set the bar high, man.
I know it's a challenge, but that. And the fact that it's in Texas, we always have a great turnout in Texas, and of course, especially for the people from the East Coast and Midwest, coming down to Texas when it's in the 80s, or possibly, I know in 2012, I think we even were in the low 90s in 2012 when we were in Austin. So of course, it's a great escape for everyone to come and get away from the weather if it's bad, which is always nice.
Well, but San Antonio is beautiful.
It is. I think everyone will have a great time, and looking forward to it. But just having it in Texas, and then just all the different sessions and concerts that we've been able to program are going to make it real special. Currently, we're on a sort of a setup where we do 2 years here in Indy and 1 year usually in Texas or somewhere else.
But it's central either way. It's easy to get to. It's whether East Coast, West Coast.
Yeah, I mean, especially for San Antonio, I mean, that's really central to the East and West Coast. So, all of you out there on the West Coast, it's a lot easier for you to get to San Antonio, and we typically do draw quite a bit from the West Coast and the Western states that don't usually come to Indianapolis. The other great thing about having it here in Indianapolis, though, too, is that it's sort of a well-oiled machine here. Being in San Antonio this year, it's sort of like having to start over from scratch because
it's a circus.
You don't know the building, you don't know the logistics. I mean, it's literally like starting over, which has been fun, but it's been a challenge. So hopefully it'll come together. That's the great thing about having it here too, is that everyone. Otherwise, they may not come to Indianapolis very often, if at all, other than for PASIC. So it allows them to come to the Rhythm Discovery Center, of which, if you are here for PASIC, you get in for free if you have a PASIC badge. And as a member of PAS, you get to see what your membership dollars go towards, which is something very special. And so it is sort of that extra added advantage and luxury of having it in Indianapolis, is that you have this to come to when you feel like you need to get away from the craziness of the convention center. So it's a pleasure to hear from you, and I'm glad things are going so well with the podcast, and I'm just thrilled to be a part or that you thought of PAS and Rhythm Discovery Center to be part of it, and invite you guys back anytime you want to come back, and hopefully you can spend more time, because you can literally spend a whole day in here if you wanted to.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey,
it was
my
a pleasure,
pleasure,
man.
Yeah, it's great to see you. Oh, and again, anybody that is interested in getting in touch with us, you can reach us through pas.org or rhythmdiscoverycenter.org. And if you're interested in PASIC, you can go to pasic.org and find out all the information. And if there's something on there that you can't find or you need information for, our phone numbers and emails are on there. And feel free to give us a call. That's what we're here for.